Story 1. When my boyfriend saw my wheelchair for the first time, he drove away. Both my boyfriend and I are both 18 at that time. Since 2018, my boyfriend and I have been together. He is, or was, always a fantastic boyfriend. Due to travel constraints and safety concerns, we haven't seen each other in person since the end of last year. I was paralyzed in a vehicle accident in March of this year and now use a wheelchair, and he wasn't able to visit me. But we FaceTime each other frequently. We got to see each other today because he was going through my state on his way to see his grandparents as his grandpa is dying. He was going to pick me up from my flat and take me somewhere. When he spotted my wheelchair, he had an odd expression on his face. I was having trouble getting into his SUV because it was so high up. His SUV is a Jeep Wrangler with those large wheels, so I asked him to assist me. He claimed that I could do it on my own because I could transfer myself to my own car in a Mini Cooper, and that he couldn't be my personal servant. But I never treat him like my servant. I told him this is my first time getting into his SUV since my accident and I needed assistance with. After that, he drove away. I'm at a loss for words. I know he's under a lot of stress as a result of his grandfather's death and the recent death of one of his cousins with whom he was close, so it's possible he's just overwhelmed by everything that's happened. But, even though I don't fully understand why he did what he did, he shouldn't have done it. I'm not sure how I should feel about this. I'm torn. My brother suggested that I dump him, but one of my friends advised that I speak with him about it. Should I bring this up with him? What should I do now? Do I call it quits with him? So, what do I do now? Story 2. Last night, I proposed to my boyfriend, and he declined. I'm having a hard time deciding how I feel about it. Brian and I have been dating for approximately 3 years and have spent about a year living together on and off. We were in the same college program where we met. He has been an excellent boyfriend, and I am delighted to be with him. Anyway, he's been quite outspoken about wanting to transfer places once he graduates for the whole time I've known him. He wants to visit a particular lovely city on the West Coast, which I have always admired. Now that we've both graduated, he's getting ready to relocate. He has a job lined up in the city he wants to move to, though he won't start for another couple of months, so he's securing apartments and movers in the meantime. He asked if I would be interested in accompanying him, and at first I hesitated because it is such a huge change, and I was a little nervous about it, but after some soul-searching, I concluded that he is the person I want to be with, and I don't have many close friends at this current place anyhow. I also felt it was appropriate to inform him I wanted to start arranging a wedding after we had been together for a long time. But then I told him I wasn't done, and I took out the ring, telling him I wanted to be on the marriage track when we left. When I asked him a question, he became very silent and gave me a look that made me think, oh God, this isn't going the way I was thinking. He told me he loves me so much that he wants to marry me right now, but there's a financial issue. Basically, he was previously married when he was younger and more impulsive, which I already knew, and his wife was not very financially responsible, which left his credit in a bad state. He basically stated that he would not feel comfortable marrying until his credit was resolved. He said he'd be delighted to move in with me, find a place together, and even wear the ring and tell people he's engaged, but he won't pick a date for the wedding until his credit is repaired. He does have a credit builder card, and he is optimistic that with the money he earns now that he has graduated, his credit score will begin to rise, but he cannot guarantee how quickly. So, I'm here, heartbroken that my proposal was rejected, despite the fact that a lot of what he said made sense. And now I'm at a loss on what to do. I guess I had this idea in my head that we'd get married and live happily ever after, but obviously that isn't going to happen. I want to go with him and be with him, but I'm not sure I want to go if he won't tell me when we'll get married. Is it a foolish idea to travel without a certainty we will be married in the future? Is it possible that I'm overthinking it? Is there a good chance that if I leave, he'll have things sorted out the way he wants them and we'll be able to live the life I want? Story 3. My boyfriend basically left our 3-month-old son unsupervised and went to work. I had been living with my boyfriend for about a year. We have a solid and close relationship overall, but it feels like we drifted apart a little during the pandemic, at least to me. Our son was born during the pandemic in 2021. He is a very sweet boy, but he added additional stress to our relationship, as does with every infant, owing to sleep deprivation, lack of intimacy, lack of free time, and the fear of being a first time having a baby. You are prepared for some things, but not for everything. We chose to sleep in different rooms a few weeks after our baby was born to cope with the sleep loss. Simply put, it was more convenient. We formed a natural pattern in which my boyfriend went to bed early and I took care of our son, and I went to bed late and slept in a little while my boyfriend took care of the baby. No problem because I couldn't breastfeed and my boyfriend was on paternity leave. Because I am a light sleeper, I wear earplugs to get some uninterrupted sleep when my boyfriend is caring for our son. I awoke one Saturday morning a few weeks ago to a text message from my boyfriend saying he had gone out for a run. Message was sent 40 minutes ago, because he couldn't think of anything else to do. I was enraged because I would not have heard our son scream through my closed door if he was hungry or something was wrong with him if I had worn my earplugs. Fortunately, nothing occurred, but I sat my boyfriend down and told him how worried I was because this is unsafe as we shouldn't left the child unattended. He was remorseful and realized that he was wrong, and promised never to do so again. Now fast forwards to the present day. My boyfriend has returned to work. Therefore he normally wakes me up in the morning before leaving the house. I had a horrible night's sleep last night and texted him at 5 a.m., frustrated, that I will try to go back to sleep for 2 hours. As I had just tried to go to bed at 1 a.m. but I just couldn't get to sleep. I must have finally dozed off at 6 o'clock. I woke up at 7 a.m. to a baby wailing hysterically. Okay, he never cries like that, what's wrong? Was my initial thinking. Hoping, my boyfriend will be able to soothe him. He was still crying a few moments later, and I noticed that my bedroom door was open. Then I noticed a text message from my boyfriend indicating that he had left for work and that he didn't want to wake me up today to give me a few more hours of sleep. I jumped on my feet and discovered my son, who has a thin blanket over his head. I'm not sure what would have happened if I hadn't awakened up to his wailing because my earplugs had slipped out. My son is fine, but I am quite worried and irritated right now. I quickly informed my boyfriend and questioned him as to why he was doing it again. He attempted to downplay the situation by stating that he had good intentions and did not expect anything like this to happen. This is, in my opinion, unacceptable behavior. So, what should I do now? I don't know whether I can trust him with our son anymore. Story 4. I'm not invited to my girlfriend's friend New Year party, but she still wants to go. I'm not sure who is at fault or how I should go about this problem. My girlfriend and I have been dating for about 8 months. I'm from another state. I moved here a year ago, and she introduced me to the majority of her friends. She has a large group of friends, with Emily as her best friend. For many years, Emily has been one of my girlfriend's closest friends. There are 2 sides to this group of friends, male and female. Many of the parties are hosted by Emily's parents, who are quite close to the boys in the group. I've only attended 2 gatherings where the entire group of boys and girls was there. The first event went well, but they referred to me as Mr. Foreigner, a reference to our differences. I tried my hardest to blend in with the crowd. I attempted to connect with the guys again at the second event, but they were uninterested. They were ignoring me and making shady remarks about what I was wearing and so on. I left knowing something wasn't quite right, but nothing significant had happened, so I didn't give it any thought. This is when things start to get interesting. Fast forwards 3 months, and my girlfriend contacts me, unhappy because she noticed that the entire group of friends went to a lake house last weekend without her, despite the fact that she directly asked Emily what they were doing that weekend and received no response. Emily had no idea what she was going to do when she arrived to our side of town the next week. I told my girlfriend to step up and tell Emily that their friendship is very important to her, and that it was hurting that Emily didn't reply to my girlfriend and planned with the entire group without her. My girlfriend asked as to why she had not been invited. Emily said that I rubbed some of the boys the wrong way, and that she didn't know what to do or say since she didn't know how to tell my girlfriend, so she didn't invite my girlfriend. We were furious at the time since I'd always done my best just to get along with the boys, and their issues with me were always behind my back. Fast forwards to now, with the New Year party approaching this weekend. my girlfriend and I had a fight and split up for 2 days. My girlfriend informed Emily that we were no longer together, and Emily replied by asking her to the New Year party at the Lake House extravaganza with the entire group. My girlfriend accepted and bought an extra ticket to the party at the same time. So when my girlfriend asked Emily if there would be any difficulties if I would to come, Emily said that people have raised their concerns about me, and she doesn't want any problems, so I'm not welcome, and she hopes my girlfriend understands. My girlfriend is at a tough spot because her entire group of friends will be there, and she hasn't seen them in a long time. She wants to attend the party and be on the same page as the other females so she wouldn't be an issue in the group. However, her boyfriend, I'm not invited because some of the guys in the group dislike me for some reason even though I've never fought with the boys in the group and I've always been pleasant. She feels terrible about me missing out on the party and is at a loss for what to do. She says she wants me to go, but she's not sure what she'll do. I don't want to cause a split in her friends group, causing them to stop hanging out with her. I also want her to be happy at the party. At the same time, it doesn't feel right that there will be a lot of boys and girls there and I won't be invited, even though my girlfriend is attending. My girlfriend and I are both caught between a rock and a hard place, unsure what to do. I don't want my girlfriend to be rejected again by her group of friends because of me. Should my girlfriend attend the party? Or should we all just pass up this party? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below. And remember to click subscribe for more videos every day and hit us with a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Until next time BGR story, please take care of yourself and see you soon.